today's webinar is about just general business Q&A. Okay, so any questions you have about your business and how to progress and how to kind of set up, you can ask them in the chat bar. Okay, so the first question I've got from Chris is kind of how to set up and get his first clients. Okay, so he's got an independent, a chain gym that's opening up near him called True Gym, and he wants to know the best ways of getting clients in and out of the gym. So, as an independent trainer, your job can be quite difficult to get clients if you don't go about it the right way, like any business. However, what I would recommend doing, I've got a few steps really. The first thing I would recommend is finding your niche kind of market. Okay, so when I was personal training, well, I still do personal training, but when I first started personal training, I really didn't like weight loss clients because I found them quite whingy and they weren't very dedicated. You know, I think maybe I was looking at the wrong kind of people, but in general, weight loss clients weren't for me. Okay, so what I did is I went out of my way to find the people that had the same attitude to me, the same work ethic, and that kind of took me down the sports performance kind of route, and you know, powerlifting, strength training, hypertrophy work, that sort of thing. Okay, so once you find your niche, you know, it's good because it will keep you happier long term, and you'll be happy training these people, and you know they really kind of resonate with you because they're your kind of people. Okay, but the real reason you want to find your niche is for your marketing. So let's say, for example, let's say I was a skinny guy and I've gradually, you know, kind of bulked up, I want more muscle, that sort of thing, as a personal trainer. I then know the journey that my niche customer has been through if it is also a skinny guy who wants to gain muscle. So you've been through that experience and you know exactly how they feel at each stage. So for example, you've got this skinny guy who thinks, oh, I want to bulk up, who do I go to? So then I would ask myself, what would I look for in a personal trainer that was saying I work for hypertrophy? You know, I want to gain muscle size, I want to gain strength, that sort of stuff. I'm skinny, I'm a hard gainer, you know, that sort of thing. I'm an ectomorph. So once you've done that, you can then think, right, so this is what he's looking for. And then you put that on your website, you put that on your Facebook page, you put that in your autoresponders, that sort of thing. Okay? And then you can also kind of start planning out your marketing. It's kind of your marketing strategy from that. So where are they going to look for this trainer? What are they looking for? How much are they willing to pay? And then you can start working through these and using your niche market experience to find your ideal clients, and then theoretically, because you already know who that client is, you'll be able to get them into your business more effectively. Okay, does that first point make sense? Good times. So the other problem, if you don't choose a niche, then you're kind of a generalizer. Okay, so you're a master of none. So the problem with that is it's all well and good saying, oh, I'm this personal trainer, blah blah blah. If you're a niche specialist, hi Matt, you're right. If you're a niche specialist, then what you can do is say to people, look, I am a specialist in fat loss, I am a specialist in golf conditioning. So this, over the past year, is where I've started to go with my business. So I'm now doing sports conditioning and rehabilitation for hospitals. Okay, so it's very, very specific. But that also means that I can charge a lot of money. So, you know, I've been searching for the most emotional reasons for people to train. And the top three that I've found personally are competing at a high level in sports, rehabilitation from an injury, and weddings. But weddings are, in my opinion, I just don't like them. Weddings to me are very high pressure because of how, you know, how much you're trying to help them. Whereas with rehab, it's a bit of a gentler approach, and sports conditioning is just my personal favourite. Okay, just because it resonates with me. So Evo has asked, what is the best way to find your niche? So really, you should kind of know deep down the kind of people that you like to train. So you might even just know certain modalities that you like. So for example, I really like powerlifting, like any barbell work, love that. And then also kettlebells. Ever since like kettlebells, the kettlebell qualifications first came on the market in the UK, I've been involved either teaching and taking part in them. So kettlebells I find is a really great thing. So you can even market yourself as a certain trainer, for that modality. So you could say I am the best kettlebell trainer in Epping, for example, or I am the best TRX trainer in Essex. And then you can market yourself as an expert in that, and then just kind of adjust your niche where you see fit. Does that make sense as well? The other thing as well, you'll find who you gravitate to. So, for example, as I said before, I never really gravitated towards weight loss clients unless they were a certain type of person, because they were always a kind of bit down, a bit unmotivated, unwilling to change, that sort of stuff. Unless I found someone that was the opposite, then I normally wouldn't train them. I'd say, look, you're not a good fit for us. Like, our trainer-client relationship isn't going to be great. Okay, end up punching them in the face. So it's up to you. The kind of client you naturally respond to well is typically is going to be a good niche for you. But you also need to look at that. That's a very lovely way of looking at it. Oh yeah, I really like these clients, therefore they're my niche. But you also need to find, are they financially kind of the right fit for you? If you like training students but you want to be earning £50 an hour, is that a right fit? No, not really. So you need to weigh up the financial kind of benefits for you in regards to who your niche is, and then you need to figure out how many of your niche are around you, or how many can you have access to. So for example, let's say you work in a gym that has a corporate contract with a solicitors, for example, or some sort of high-end, doctors, any high-income earners. Then you could say, right, my niche, I just want to do weight loss for stressed out people, so we're going to incorporate a lot of boxing, blah, blah, blah. So then you could say, right, because we've got this corporate contract, 75% of the people that I see are going to fit into that category. And then you can kind of move on from there, and you can say, right, that niche works, that niche doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And you can start to filter out all the different people that would kind of fit into your niche or they wouldn't. And it basically, the whole process just validates your niche, if that makes sense. Okay, so Chris, do you want to get into GP referral due to obesity or diabetes? Okay, so this is GP referral is quite it can be difficult, but it depends how you go about it. So what I would do is, when you do your course, as you just said, the level 4 course, what I would do for the GP referral is write up a template letter, and basically I've actually got a copy that I'll put on PT Toolbox once it's been designed up properly. Okay, so that'll be in about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So basically, what this letter is, it's 17 pages, so that's a bit excessive, but I went into quite a lot of detail. And the first step is basically you go to the doctors in this letter and you say, this is who I am and this is what I want to do. So you have like an executive summary. So basically it says, my name is Joshua Mullin, I'm a level 4 personal trainer, I've been working in the industry for 10 years, etc, etc, etc. This is what I want to do with your clients. There is a rising epidemic of obesity and diabetes. These are interlinked because of poor health and poor nutrition. And then you basically explain very briefly what you want to do and how it will help the GP and how it will help mainly the patients. Okay, so don't refer to them as clients, refer to them as patients, because they like that. Then what you need to do on the second page is say, this is my proposed plan of action. This is how you're going to, you need to list everything. So how is the doctor going to refer the patients to you? How are you going to assess them? How are you going to treat them or train them? How are you going to reassess them? And then how is the doctor going to know if it's worked or hasn't worked? And then obviously prices as well. So that's kind of like a proposal is what I would call it. So, you know, that's the easiest option. Write out a letter. So, 1, 2 pages, but I would recommend 3, 4 pages at the most. Okay, 2 pages should be enough. Okay, once you've got that letter, go on Yale.com or any kind of search engine as well, and type in doctor surgery and then your postcode. Okay, when I did this, 26 doctors came up within 5 miles. Okay, so I don't know if I just live in a really unhealthy area or if there's just a lot of doctors. However, there's 26 of them. So all I did was I went down to the post office. I got 26 printouts already with me, and then I just got their addresses stamped on the thing on the do not bend A4 envelope and posted it to them, each person's. And then it said at the very bottom of my proposal, once you've kind of considered this proposal, please feel free to give me a call and we can discuss the details. And out of the 26, we had over 50% come back to us and say, right, how do we get started? And then you just start from there. And if you do that properly and you get enough uptake and you make your proposal really good and you make it really professional and you're not overly salesy and you don't come across as a caveman, then there's a very high possibility that you could have a steady stream of clients coming through to you every week, easy. So that, for Chris, for example, that would be my first step. The other option to get into the GP referral system is to use what we call your circle of influence. So let's say on your Facebook page, if you put out there, how many of my friends personally know a doctor in Newcastle or your local area, okay? So what you're doing is you're spreading the net, and then people say, oh yeah, my dad's a doctor, or my uncle, blah blah blah, and they'll start telling you, right, these people are doctors, and just say to them via private message, could you put me in contact? And then again, all it is a quick phone call to the doctor, and you say, look, this is what I'm planning to do. I'm trying to help the obesity and diabetes epidemic. Can we do this? And you're just literally pitching them this idea. And what I would have that letter already written up as well, and say, if you want, before you make a decision, I'll just send you a little bit more information, and we'll go from there. Okay? Does that make sense so far? Awesome. Have you got any more questions about the level 4 GP referral? Hi Stephen, by the way. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Okay, so Chris, obviously going back to your previous question about finding clients. So the first thing we said obviously was finding your niche and why that's important. So the next step I would say is choosing your pricing plan and also your products. So for example, when I was in LA Fitness, in one of the LA Fitnesses in Essex, basically we had what we call price presentation. So each trainer had to come up with their own price presentation. And all this is a printed document, like a Word document, for example, and it says, going from highest price to lowest price, what your products are. So the sample, my one was, Platinum was at the top, which was £500 a month, and that was 4 sessions a week, £500 worth of supplement vouchers from Cymex, because I used to work with them as like an affiliate, so I got that for free anyway. They used to get a nutrition plan, which was charged at £35. They used to get a a training plan at home, which was £35. Basically, all this stuff on paper came up to £500, and that was the Platinum program. So when we used to sit down for a consultation with a new person, they come in for a free session, and after the free 30 minutes, I would say, right, okay, let's go and sit down. We'll kind of talk about the session, and I'd say, so did you enjoy the session? And they go, yeah. And I'd say to them, do you think that would help you get your intended results? Would that get you to where you want to be? And they go, yeah. And I'd say, do you think that's worth investing in? Do you think that's worth buying? And they'd say, yeah. So the idea is to get 3 yeses in a row. And then you say, right, okay, so here's my price presentation. Have a look through, and you don't let them just read it. You have to go through it with them. I'd say, right, so what I recommend, according to your goals, you want to lose 4 stone in 6 months. According to your goals, I think personally the Platinum package is the best option for you. And they either say yes, Or they say, oh, I think that's a bit too expensive. So then you go, right, well, if the platinum package is too expensive, why don't we move down? Okay, so now we've got the gold package, and that's 3 sessions a week. Or you've got your silver package, 2, bronze, 1. And then I would also include in there group personal training. So for example, you're 3 or 4 people training at a time, which is what, £15 an hour, depending on who you are and where you train. And then I would also include boot camps on there. I would include Skype training, online training, include every option. And the idea behind this is if you work from highest to lowest, you should theoretically always get them on a higher plan than they would have chosen. That's the idea. And then also, if you have all the options, so even all the way down to, we have a £5 an hour bootcamp class that you can come to. Theoretically, no one should leave that consultation without them buying from you. Okay, so that's kind of step number 2. I can send you. Well, actually, no, sorry. I'll put on PT Toolbox in the pro section. I'll put up a price plan, like a sample price presentation that you can edit as well, and then you can just kind of do with that what you want to do. Okay. The other option as well in that price plan, rather than just having platinum, gold, blah blah blah, you could actually have set products. So, for example, you could have the muscle building course, and you can have like the get shredded course, the Rocky Balboa course where they just do boxing, for example, for 20 sessions. And you can actually start to build programs that are a set duration and a set price, and this is what you get, this is how much you pay, and this is how we're going to do it. And you effectively systemize your personal training. So all I would do with that one is I would say, right, how would I ideally train someone 3 sessions a week for hypertrophy? Or let's say, okay, let's change that. Let's say for powerlifting. How would I train someone 3 times a week for powerlifting? And I'd say, right, okay, well, I would use a 5-3-1 template, which is like quite a common powerlifting template. And then all I would do is automate that and write that out over 3 months and say, right, this is a step-by-step guide. All you need to do is plug in the numbers. Okay, so what are your 1 rep maxes? What's your body weight? And then you could do a spreadsheet that sorts it all out and you say, right, that's £500 please for 12 weeks. And they follow your program. You coach them through it as well. And that's just one product. Okay, so what you could do, 2 options here, is either have various products for one niche. So for example, if you're a martial art person, then you could say, right, product 1, boxing only. Product 2, kickboxing. Or you go like product 3, which is full immersion, where you're going to have MMA, kettlebells, Olympic lifting. You know, this is going to get you to your top of your game in 12 weeks. Okay, or you can have multiple products for multiple niches. So if you have a powerlifting plan, you have a fat loss plan, you have a hypertrophy plan, you have a sports conditioning plan, and you have a bodyweight plan, for example. Okay, and if you have these products, you can then start to build a more reliable income. So you can start to say, right, okay, I've got to sell 2 products per month to make a good living. So to keep me keep the wolves from the door, to pay my mortgage, to pay my car bills, you know, whatever. Okay, and then you can start planning your business. So right, I've got to sell 2 programs. That means I've got to speak to at least 20 people to book in 2 new clients, and then it just goes on like that. Okay, does that all make sense to you guys? Awesome. Good times. Evo and Matt, how's that sound to you? To be honest, Chris, depending on it's personal preference. So you say how many plans would you recommend? I would say have one for each goal that you would like to train for. So at the moment, I really like this. This is actually I'll give you a personal story now. So I've recently just got back into training again with CrossFit. Okay, with my close friend who owns a CrossFit box. And as I said before, like earlier this evening, I don't really like fat loss clients just for numerous reasons. So I was thinking of starting up a 4-person, 3 times a week group fitness training class just for powerlifting based on a very common template, which again, if you need the template for the powerlifting, then let me know and obviously I can hook you up. So I would look at only doing enough programs so that you're comfortable and not overwhelmed and it doesn't give too many choices to the client. So I would just look at the main ones. So I would look at possibly a fat loss one, muscle gain, pure strength, rehabilitation, and possibly a sports conditioning. But that again is personal preference because it depends on the athlete, it depends on the sport. That's a bit of a difficult one. And then I would potentially have 1 or 2 variations of each. So you could have the fat loss basic and the fat loss deluxe, where they come in for more sessions, they pay more money and they get a better service. Okay, so I would look at all the different people you could theoretically train and then put them under categories and then say, right, okay, I need to write 5 programs. Okay, so another option, like for example, one of the programs I'm writing at the moment is a 1-year program for an absolute beginner coming to kind of maximize their holistic health. So let me just see if I can find you the template that I'm using. So it would be 3 times per week training following a powerlifting method, and then 2 times a week of yoga at home, 5 days a week of meditation, 3 times per week doing Epsom salt baths and contrast showers, sports massage every fortnight, doing the elimination diet and antifungal diets, and then basically movement screens, posture analysis, and rotating periodization going through endurance, hypertrophy, strength, so on and so forth. So I'm writing out a 1-year program so I can take an absolute beginner and basically plug them into this system. Because a lot of PTs have these systems and it says, for example, they have like a general idea, and this is not what I'm doing. Okay, so effectively, imagine a client comes into me, let's say his name's Tom, for example, and Tom comes into me and he says, right, I want to get stronger, I want to get bigger, I want to be healthier. So I say, okay, the first thing you need to do is come into the gym and we're going to do movement screens. So if you don't know what they are, look up Functional Movement Screens. It's a really good book. And then we're also going to do posture analysis. And then based on the results that he gets, that dictates which program I give him that is already written. So there is, let's say for example, there is already a program written that deals with kyphosis. And then there is already one that deals with lordosis, and there's already one that deals with scoliosis. So that means I've got to write out different programs. The basic template stays the same, but then depending on those results is what puts in the acute variables. So for example, he comes into the gym, he does his posture analysis, and he says, right, well, we decide that, right, he's got kyphosis, 6 out of 10, okay? Then the stretching protocol that he is given, rather than the general one, he is given the kyphosis stretching protocol and the kyphosis strength plan. And then it's all templated and we just adjust it slightly to him. Does that all make sense? Awesome. Good times. So the plan for my 1-year program is going to sell it for £500 a month, but they get a weekly webinar, they get everything included, supplements, so on and so forth. So what I would do is kind of write these packages, and the other thing to consider when writing your packages as well is kind of stand out from your competitors. So I would look at the other clients, the other personal trainers, and say, right, what are they offering their clients? If they say, oh yeah, I'm doing a fat loss package, it's this, this and this, I would look at ways to kind of overcome them and become better than them. So you could add in, for example, 3 boot camps. You could run a boot camp 3 times a week and you've only lost 3 hours of your week. but to your client, that's another 3 sessions they can attend for free. Okay, and then in the meanwhile, you can have paying clients coming into your bootcamp anyway. And then I would offer, a weekly webinar, for example, for free. And again, you can use this website, anymeeting.com. That's free of charge. Okay, so every week you could do a different topic for all of your clients. Okay, so Chris has asked, would you do it individually per client or have one off the shelf? Well, basically, if you imagine, Chris, all we're kind of saying is the structure is there, and then depending on the individual client, imagine it's like a route map. Okay, imagine it's like the tube map. So depending on the answers they give in their consultation as to what their goal is, and also how we assess them, that then chooses the route they take, but the route is already written, if that makes sense. So we've already got the template there, but we have an answer for every individual, every eventuality. So basically, yeah, exactly. So the bones are there, and then the client happens to fill them in as we go. So all I'm going to do is write, for example, write a flexibility program for kyphosis, write a flexibility program for lordosis, and then if they show that in their assessment, we go, right, we choose that one. And then all the little bits come together to build up that 1 year program, and then simples, easy. So just to recap, obviously, so far we've spoken about finding your niche and also choosing your price plan and your product. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you about is obviously getting the clients in the door. So, Chris, as you said, you're going as a independent trainer. So you want a few clients outside, but you're also going to go and work in a gym. So the first thing they're going to tell you to do in the gym is called walking the floor. Okay. So the biggest thing for walking the floor is obviously barriers, is what they call it. So if I'm walking around the gym in my trainer outfit, like la 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 la, and I go up to someone on the treadmill with their headphones in, I go, oh, excuse me, would you be interested in a free session? Most of the time they're just going to be like, yeah, can you do one please? I'm trying to train. So we need to find a way to get around those barriers, okay? And when I was at LA Fitness, I was known for talking to 30 to 70 people a day just as part of the nature of the job. It's quite easy to do. You talk to lots of people every day. Why should it be any different? However, a lot of PTs become daunted by the fact of going up to people and being like, oh, and talking to people that don't really want to be spoken to while they're training. So the first one is called hit and quit. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to go up to these people on the treadmill, for example, or if they haven't got headphones in, you go up to them and you say, hi, you're right, my name's Josh, what's it like? And introduce yourself, shake the virtual hand, there we go, and then you just say hello, and then you leave. Okay, give them a smile, possibly ask them how their training's going, how their workout's going, and then leave. Okay, people will remember that. In the age of where customer service is very poor, people will remember, always ask their name, shake their hand if possible, unless they're either ridiculously sweaty or they're training, and then kind of go from there. Next time they're in, make sure you remember a feature of them, so you remember their name, and then go through the same thing. So when they next come in, say, oh, how you doing, Stephen? You alright? Oh, good training last week. Yeah, how you doing this week? And then just strike up a conversation, because again, it is as simple as showing them that you care. And then once you start to build up that rapport and that trust, then they'll start coming to you with questions, and that's when they'll start buying from you, and that's when you get regular clients. And it's that simple. That's the first one, hit and quit. The second one is technique correction. So again, walking around the gym, how many times do you see someone doing lat pull downs and they're parallel with the floor and they're just doing a row like this? Okay, and then like how many times again have you seen people benching and they're doing this and they're just going like that, So there are loads of people in the gym that are doing things wrong that may not necessarily know. Okay, so what you need to do is walk around, spot these people, and you start to develop a really good eye for it after a while. I still do it now, like when people walk past the coffee shop and I'm like, and I look at them. So what you want to do is come up with a very non-offensive way of saying, look, let me help you, okay? So what I would do is go up to them and say, oh, like, let's say there's a guy, for example, doing partial squats, and he should be doing full range of motion. I say, oh, right, buddy, I've got a free 5 minutes. Do you mind if I show you a way where you can do that and you'll get better results? And most people, like 9 out of 10, will say, yeah, you know, they want to get better results. You're a personal trainer. You're offering to help them for free. Why would they say no? Okay, it's always in the wording. So if you go up to someone and you say, "You're right, mate. Yeah, your form's a bit shit. Do you want me to help you? Because you're pretty terrible." Then again, they're going to be embarrassed. They're going to be angry. They're going to say no. So using the correct wording, going up to someone in the gym and saying, "Oh, I've just seen you on the treadmill. Then I can see your right foot's flaring out slightly." That normally just shows that you've got a bit of an imbalance in the adductors. Can I show you an exercise that might help that? Because then it will prevent your knee pain. And then they say, oh yeah, that'd be really good, yeah. And start to just kind of be around the gym, be known for that guy that's there to help. Using the hit and quit and the correction, that's a really good start, okay? The third strategy, which is a little bit more sneaky, but it does work, is the fake cancellation. So, I can't even believe I'm telling you this. So basically, you're walking around the gym floor, you see someone that doesn't really know what they're doing maybe, or you see someone that looks, oh, they could be a potential client. And all you do is you walk past them, you look at them, if they make eye contact and say hello, whatever, you say hello, you say, oh, really sorry to disturb you, but I've just had a client that's cancelled. He's got a 30-minute session. Do you want to take the time for free? I'd rather train someone than be bored for half hour. And again, 9 times out of 10, they'll say, yeah, go on then, why not? And you just need to say, look, there's no obligation. It's just this guy's let me down. Do you want to jump in for a free 30-minute session? And then just have what we call wow sessions. So you have, again, 4 or 5 templated sessions. Like, for example, you have one Tabata circuit, you have a barbell complex, you have a bodyweight session. And just say, what are your goals today? And they say, oh, well, I want to lose a bit of fat. Blah, blah. I say, oh, well, I've got this really good high-intensity interval training circuit for you that you can do. Here you go, like, and then take them through it and really use that session to build rapport, and then use it to, basically show them what you've got as a trainer and why they need you. A good choice as well is choosing exercises they might not have done before, like boxing and partner work and that sort of thing. Like martial arts and boxing is great because if you're holding pads, they can't do it on their own. Okay, and you use this session, as I said before, to wow them and make sure they know how good you are as a trainer. And then obviously the sneaky bit is the cancellation, saying, yes, I've got a cancellation, when really you might not have. And obviously be aware, if you use that strategy too much, people will start to know that you have actually had no cancellations, and they might be a bit wary. Okay, so I would just remember, out of those 3 strategies, the main thing you need to remember is being real with them, being caring, kind, and being polite. So there's no reason to be artificial when you do it. Okay, so all of these strategies, people will buy into you, not what you're pretending to be. So you need to be real. You need to basically say, look, this is me. If you want to come train with me, come and do it. If you don't like me, then obviously we're not going to be a good fit. Because I remember when I was at LA Fitness and I put on a bit of a front for a client, and it turned out I actually hated them. And I ended up training this woman for about 2 years that I didn't actually like. And I had to act a different way. I couldn't be myself around her. And then eventually I had to sack her as a client, which was pretty good. Pretty good feeling. Okay, so the next strategy for you guys is called the human billboard. This is one of my personal favourites. So with my coaching clients, this is one of my most used kind of strategies for getting clients in. So I assume everyone here has got Facebook, yeah? So all I would ask you to do is go onto Facebook and put out there, I'm looking for 5 people that would be willing to get trained for free for 12 weeks, okay? Message me for more information. And then all you're going to do is find 5 people. And what I would do, people are going to start messaging you, okay? Because they love free stuff. People love free training. So when they message you, all you do is say, right, these are the details. And the rough one that I would use is something like this. Right, I'm going to train you as a group 3 times a week at 7 o'clock in the evening. Okay, at this location, at this time, non-negotiable. you have to train as a group. Okay, so that's why it's 5 people. This is what you need to give me. You need to be dedicated to your diet. You need to be dedicated to your training. You have to attend all of the sessions, so on and so forth. And you set out your terms and conditions. Okay, and then you say, this is what I want from you. I want a weekly progress picture. I want a before and after picture. I want a video and a written testimonial. Okay, and also every time you train with me, or every time you're preparing your food, or every time you're thinking about the diet, I want you to Facebook me. I want you to tweet me. Okay, I want you to tag me in posts. I want you to tag in when you come to the gym, all that sort of stuff. So basically, these people become your little advertising ninjas. Okay, and all they're doing is helping promote you to their friends because they're getting free training. And then if you're a new trainer, then what this does, it allows you to gain 5 new testimonials that are real, and you can have them like, time framed and everything, you can make them look really good. You've got 5 testimonials for nothing, if that makes sense. Like, for example, you're going to find it very hard to sell to people without testimonials, okay? If there's a guy in your gym with a book that's got 100 testimonials saying that this is what I've done, and then there's you going, well, I haven't actually trained anyone yet, but I am good, who are they going to go with? So you're basically doing like a deal with them. You say, look, I'll train you for free, and you have to promote me, okay? And then the likelihood is, if the training is good and the service is good and everything you do is excellent, then they'll probably stay on with you, okay? Afterwards, you could then offer them a discounted rate to stay on with you, like a loyalty bonus, as long as they keep referring X amount of people per month. So that is the human billboard, okay? I would actually recommend that you implement that as soon as possible, but have everything written down. Okay, so have a list of rules they have to follow, give them a list of everything you're going to do for them, and have it all set out as like a terms and conditions. Because that way, if it does all go pear-shaped, you can say, no, look, here are the terms and conditions. This is what you agreed to, and then it stops any little bitch fits or people moaning and whinging, that sort of stuff. Okay? 10 minutes left. Ooh. So the next kind of very basic strategy, but again, it's something that's done quite wrong by a lot of personal trainers, is their Facebook page. Okay, a lot of the time I see personal trainers that just use their personal profile, which to a certain degree is okay. However, I would recommend getting a Facebook page. Okay, all I would recommend is, once you've actually got your branding sorted, it's just a professional location for people to find you for a certain reason, and then obviously you can then branch out eventually and do your Facebook advertising. But the main thing that we see, when I say we, I mean myself and my kind of web developer that I share the office with, is that people don't give enough. Okay, and this is something we're trying to do more with PT Toolbox as well, is posting high quality content either daily or multiple times per day. So again, we're going back to your niche. So let's say you've got your personal training page, okay, and I just told you guys that I'm going to be doing my 1-year holistic lifestyle personal training program. Okay, so if you bear with me 1 second, I shall show you my Facebook page. Right, okay, can you see this? That is the question. Just type yes or no if you can see my Facebook page coming up. Right, okay. I'm back. So, I don't quite know what happened there. However, what I will do is I'll give you a link in a second. So, I'm just posting the link at the bottom. Right, can you hear me now? Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is post up a link to my personal training page in a second. And I don't want you to like it or anything like that. I just want you to have a look and see what you think. So basically, the idea is to give your audience high quality content. Okay. So I'm just going to post it up now. Joshua Meyer. So if you have a look at that page, it's not really updated at the moment because this has gone on hold while we do PT Toolbox. However, we would post every single day. Most of the time we would post multiple per day. But it was all about giving content to the people that needed it the most. So my clients were people that just wanted to get healthy more than anything else. That was the main priority. So every week, every Monday, for example, would be a nutrition post. Every Tuesday would be a lifestyle post. And it was stuff that could help them, but it wasn't giving away too much. Okay? So it wasn't any crazy information that was going to cost me money to give them. It was just stuff that most PTs would know. So for example, there'd be one on hydration and there'd be one on protein. And then all this is doing the whole time is just building up a rapport with your target audience. Okay? So what this does eventually, once the rapport has been built and they trust you, if they then have a problem or they need something solved, they'll then come to you. They think, oh right, who can I go to for health advice? Oh, I know, I see Josh's posts every day. I'm going to go and ask him. And be approachable and be friendly through Facebook. So again, I would avoid things like ranting on Facebook on a business page because it makes you look unprofessional. Okay, I would look at potentially not posting anything that was too controversial, but you can still post some things, obviously. If it's going to offend 50% of my followers and make them leave, is it worth doing it? You know. However, some controversy can be good. If it's a controversial article, that sort of stuff, you know. So I would really look at streamlining your Facebook page and then making your Twitter auto post from your Facebook page. Okay. And then again, like we said before, once your Facebook page is optimized and it's selling well, and then it's getting people to you to then sell to, then I would look at Facebook ads as well to get you out there. Okay, and that's another article and another webinar for another day. Okay. So one more thing on Facebook, I would not try and sell to people on Facebook because it's a personal thing. People aren't there to buy, okay? They're there to be nosy, to look at pictures of funny cats, that sort of thing, okay? So people hate it when you try and just sell them all the time, okay? If you give them content and you build the trust, then the people will come to you eventually, okay? And that's what you need to know. So have we got any more questions? Because that's about all the time we've got. We've got another 5 minutes. Any other questions, guys? Ah, Matthew. Okay, good effort. So one of the questions from Matt earlier and just then was, what drop shipping websites have you used? So if you don't know what drop shipping is, let me just see if I can load you up a picture. I don't know if it works. It didn't work last time. Okay. No, it's not going to work. So basically, drop shipping is selling a product you do not have in stock. So for example, let's say I own a supplement website. Let's call it joshsupplements.com. And what happens is the client goes on to joshsupplements.com and they say, oh look, there's the latest Gorilla Musk. I'm going to buy that. That will raise my testosterone. I'll get massive. So then we go, okay. They click on buy, and little do they know, I don't actually have the products. Okay, there's a supplier 200 miles away I've never met called Larry, who actually owns the supplement company. And all we're doing is when someone buys something from joshsupplements.com, is I'm saying to Larry via email, hi Larry, and this is normally automated by the way, hi Larry, just sold one product, can you please ship to the customer? And then you will either have two options. You pay directly then, so the customer pays you, you take your percentage, and then you pay the supplier then sends it to the customer, or the supplier will invoice you monthly. That's a bit of a harder one to get because you have to build up the trust first. Okay, so it would normally be you pay for the product, then they ship it. Okay, the most common things for personal trainers, the reason I believe Matt asked about dropshipping is to earn extra monthly revenue without having to do more, like loads of work. Okay, if that's correct, Matt, just put yes. So the common things really for dropshipping for personal trainers, the main one is supplements. That's a big one. Okay, then the next one would be equipment, and then the third one, in my opinion, could be clothing if you build up a big enough customer base. Okay, so the one I use for equipment, or used to use, and I will be using again pretty soon, is fitness-nation.co.uk, and they do a really good dropshipping scheme for equipment. So they do everything like bikes to foam rollers, they do all gym equipment. So they're pretty good. For nutrition, I'll have to look into that one for you, as the company that I did use has since closed. So I'm actually in talks with another company at the moment who are looking at kind of getting their drop shipping out to a lot of customers. So I will probably do a video on drop shipping specifically next week or the week after. Okay, so stay tuned to that. And if you're not a pro member on PT Toolbox, you have to be to see that video. Okay, and it's only $10 a month. Why not? So yeah, I would look at fitness-nation.co.uk, and all you would have to do as soon as you get a website made is integrate that into your website, which again isn't massively hard to do for most kind of sites. It's a little bit of work for you to put in the products and the prices and the images and that sort of stuff, but you only have to do it once and then it's done. And then what you would do is just every time an order comes in, you email your supplier, the supplier asks for payment and then sends it out to you. So this is a good way. If you've got, let's say, 40 clients and you sell equipment and supplements, it's better that they come to you than they go to someone else. Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Awesome, good times. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Website is next on the list. Good times. Chris, if I were you, I would go onto my friends list and look up a guy called Thomas Amos. He's the best website developer that I know. So no worries, good times. So don't forget these webinars. These are done on a weekly basis. Okay, we had a break over Christmas and now we're kind of back on now. So next week's webinar will be the same time, the same place. It'll be at 8:30 at anymeeting.com/PT Toolbox. If you have any questions about all the kind of topics we've covered tonight, then just drop me a message on Facebook or send me an email to josh@pttoolbox.co.uk. Okay, and then also, just so you know, I am recording this webinar and this will be on PT Toolbox in about a day. Okay, it'll be on there tomorrow. Okay. Chris, as you've just messaged me, I'll send you my web developer's name in a second. Okay, perfect. I hope you enjoyed it today, guys. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to tag me in a Facebook post. Bit of promotion. Okay, have a good night, guys. See you later.